My life has been plagued by something I call an awful taste in music. It all started with Minecraft parodies, though a chunk of them were pretty solid, and the others were like an Enderman.
Like an Enderman!
The real kicker was when I started getting into video game fan songs. We've got names like Tryhard Ninja, JT Music, DA Games. Wow, this fruit is hanging so low on this tree. Fan-made songs based on video games have always been big. I mean, The Living Tombstone made a song so good it made Jack Black think it was the official theme for FNAF.
If you need a new theme song that is similar to your old one, I'm available.
And in a sense, he was right, just like 9 years too late. This category of music didn't really have a name back then, but now it's pretty universally known as nerdcore, at least to the people who make it. Nerdcore is a really funny name for the genre when you think about it. Usually when you add the core suffix to a music genre, it's describing something about a song's instrumental. Nightcore has a song slightly sped up, breakcore sounds like the war cry of an electronic uprising, but nerdcore just means you're singing about Bendy. My fixations on the people in the nerdcore scene have come and go, but there's one specific figure that stuck with me for a long time. One that I would call the monarch of the genre. They made a song about hooking up with soda. Enter the Stupendium, also known as just Stoops, a British rapper who specializes in nerdcore. They've been making music for over 9 years now and show zero signs of stopping. It's hard to decide where to start with the Stupendium, cause I don't think their earliest videos can really be classified as nerdcore. They covered songs from musicals, but their first song is kind of just a song. A good song, but if it went something like I'm only running for the exercise, then I could talk about it. Is what I would say if I was a fraud. One thing about the Stupendium that put them on the scene is their penchant for wordplay. You'd generally be hard-pressed to find any musician that can outpunch Stoops. It gets to the point where you gotta watch lyrical analysis videos just to understand what they meant when they talked about blowing their load into villainous.
That's disgusting!
They posted a couple of stuff to the channel, including their first real nerdcore song, but nothing that really gained any traction, and eventually Stoops decided that they wanted to move on from this whole YouTube stuff. But before then, they would make one more song, and they chose that darned Bendy Inc. game to be their final hurrah. You see, there's an alternate universe where the Choo Choo Charles song never got made, and that world probably has flying cars. All jokes aside, Find the Keys was Stupendium's breakout song, the thing that single-handedly kickstarted their career, at a point where they were near ready to just completely pack it all up. And it's pretty obvious why it got so popular. The music video is completely hand-animated by Stoops himself, apparently taking them about 1.5 years to complete. In the peak of their success, I tend to forget that Stoops is an artist, as their recent music videos have mostly taken the live-action route over animation. This isn't a complaint or anything. Obviously, it's quicker to stand in front of a green screen than it is to give up your soul to the dark force that is the animation process. And there are still hand-animated music videos occasionally, which is great to see. But yeah, the song itself is pretty good. Stoops crams as many animation references as they can into their Bendy songs, and they're actually like genius. The song's called Find the Keys because Bendy and the Ink Machine is a mascot horror game, but also because keys are like keyframes. And then the next song has the line, "We ain't locked in cells no more like animation cells." All I'm saying is that Walt Disney has been pretty quiet since these songs dropped. Some say he's frozen in place. Oh yeah, the song of course marks the trend where Stoops makes songs out of every popular indie game of the week. We got Tattletale, Undertale, Freddy Fazbear has a tail. I'm starting to see a trend here. Usually a fan song artist writing on trends like this is a warning sign that they've already given up on life, but the Stupendium surprisingly makes all of these feel worthwhile. Stoops will only make a song about a popular game if they find something interesting to base it off, and if you're Roblox picky, you're getting relegated to the holiday special. I feel like this is encapsulated well in their next big hit, Why Did I Say Okie Dokie? Doki Doki Literature Club is one of those games that you kind of forget was really impactful, because the only people who are still fans of it are fans for the entirely wrong reasons. Stoops takes the meta-focus of DDLC and twists it into double meta-focus. I don't know, man. The song keeps on repeating as the girls die, and Stoops somehow found a way to turn reverse audio into an earworm. Stoops ends up getting trapped in the game with Monica, who for whatever reason has her sentience represented annoying orange style, and then they drop the coldest line in all of fiction.
I could delete her, but I never could harmonica. So I'm trapped here forever was my harmonica.
I can't tell if rhyming harmonica with harmonica is completely ridiculous or lyrical genius, but either way, every time I hear it, I start frothing at the mouth and writhing in agony. That either means I like it, or that the squirrel that bit me yesterday had rabies. And once again, the art direction is really good. I don't know if it beats the actual insanity that is some scenes in Find the Keys, but Stoops is able to match the DDLC art style extremely well. Now if they weren't they would have animated their Undertale song with indiscernible pixel art, but as is, I just don't think it fits Toby Fox's vision. Their Baldi's basic song The Aftermath continues off of the DDLC song. Kind of. Stoops is playing a student who transferred to Baldi's schoolhouse from the Doki Doki school, so they're like an NPC, except they directly acknowledge that they're in a game in a line at the end. I can't pass an eye exam, but I'll never miss a lore consistency in my Stupendium song. Is that a dog? It's funny just how varied Baldi's basic songs are. The Aftermath sits directly in the middle of the line that starts at Basics in Behavior and ends with Don't Eat Ass in the Halls. I also gotta mention the Cuphead song Milk Milk Lemonade, cause goddamn, this is still super impressive, especially for a mostly solo artist. This time, Stoops made the wise decision to not try to replicate the style of a game that took an entire studio like half a decade to make, and the art looks a little gnarly, but it's still very well done. Apparently all the percussion in this song was sampled from cups being hit, which is cool as hell. And the song is packed with exactly 100 cup-related puns, which is a gimmick that Stoops has sadly only done like twice. To be fair, a good chunk of the puns here are just homophones of some random drinks I'm convinced don't actually exist, but they prove that Stoops actually bothered to put research into this, and that's still insanely impressive. Who else is going to sneak Gatorade into their song using the phrase gay tirade? Though there is one drink that may literally just not exist. Sorry, I don't believe you with this one, Stoops. It wasn't just game stuff that the Stupendium was making now. They have a few songs that are just... okay, one is about games, but like board games, not Arthur's Nightmare. I really like A Matter of Facts, because it's just a Stupendium listing off a bunch of random pieces of trivia, like 3% of all the world's cheese gets stolen, that's a good one. This was made for a fact rap challenge that JT Music, that's the Down to the Bone guy in case you were wondering, created. And apparently Dan Bull also participated and created his own challenge in the same video, a board game rap challenge. We all know who Dan Bull is, right? If you don't, yes you do.
I'm a creeper, Minecraft Grim Reaper, blowing up blocks like Al-Qaeda.
He and Stoops ended up becoming very close friends, so he's going to be showing up from time to time. Anyways, Stoops of course responded to this challenge, and made chairman of the board where they played 3 different characters obsessed with a popular board game. The first one is an evil businessman who gloats about the surplus of money they have and how they control everything with it. This may become a habit. The House Always Wins is a Fallout New Vegas song where Stoops plays Robert House, a wealthy businessman who controls everything in his district. Twice is just a coincidence. Obviously I could make the joke that this song is about a AAA video game and not Eggs for Bart, but Stoops himself beat me to it. Unfortunately, I am younger than Super Mario Galaxy, so I have never played this game before. But I think that just makes me appreciate the song more, cause I can immediately grasp House's character just through the song. The music video also looks really good. It uses really striking wireframe casino imagery. It's named The House Always Wins after all, and it's all just sick as hell. And for the people allergic to games they haven't seen Markiplier play, Stoops' next song was about the game We Happy Few. Another J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. What's next? Are we gonna get a song where they spend Christmas with a Hello Neighbor Neighbor?
Yes.
A Very Scary Christmas is actually the first song I ever saw from the Stupendium. This is a song about the Stupendium spending Christmas with a bunch of horror game icons and also Flowey, after they leave their Steam library and come to the real world. Which implies that Stoops paid for Granny on Steam, that's sick fuck. The song's cute. It's just a silly video about having a jolly old time with the tortured souls of children possessing robot animatronics. Thank God William Afton is in here. Stoops dodged a bullet by buying Hello Neighbor instead of FNAF 3. There are a lot of references that I did not expect to see here. Like that's Emily from Emily Wants to Play. They got Spooky in here, is that the We Happy Few guy? I guess Stoops really enjoyed this concept. Crossovers are always fun after all. Because next Christmas, we got a sequel! Yeah, I'm breaking out of the vaguely chronological structure for this one. We're jumping a whole year forward in the Stoops timeline. Another Horror Holiday is pretty much the same thing as the last one, except with even more references.
Yeah, he's a pedophile.
The description still rolls with the Steam library lore, so we get to make more jokes about what the hell Stoops is spending their money on.
Granny and Grandpa start to slumber, Beerson,
That
Baldi,
bitch
and
bought
the
Granny
nerdcore.
too! They start broadening the scope to not just be about horror villains, but just evil video game villains in general. Which of course involves the goose from Undertale the Goose Game. Which of course involves the goose from Untitled Goose Game. And Saints of Papyrus are just there. To be fair, the song does explicitly state that they don't fit any of the requirements, but that doesn't explain anything. As the song goes on, Stoops starts getting like corrupted by the villain horror aura or something. Forget this ever happened because it's never going to be brought up again. And by that I mean in the next song, The Fright Before Christmas, they go insane all over again. This one's gimmick is that the Stoops get sucked into their computer to spend Christmas with all the villains of gaming. Yeah, it's not much of a gimmick, but it is a twist. This song just reminds me of how dire the horror economy of 2020 was when the new characters added are Cartoon Cat, the dude from Ice Cream, and Roblox Piggy. Is nobody really gonna talk about the fact that this legend of a man added a Roblox character into this song?
No.
You know what, I'm also going to lump Showdown Bandit with them. This game's first chapter released in September 2019 and got delisted from Steam before the song even came out. Still a better shelf life than Conquer. Near the end of the song, Stoops admits that they're just flat out of ideas, which makes sense because I don't think they really had any to begin with. These have all kind of been the same structure-wise. So Christmas of 2021 rolled around, and Stoops released And To All a Good Fright to finally wrap up the series. In this one, Stoops is enjoying the Christmas away from Sonic.exe, but the villains can't let that happen. If Stoops doesn't write them a song, they don't get to have Christmas. So it's one big meta joke about how Stoops has grown tired of making this series, but their fans have come to expect a new installment every Christmas. And they reflect on the thing that you've probably been thinking. This entire series is just hard cashing in on whatever is popular. Do you seriously think Stoops actually cares for Choo Choo Charlie? Roblox Piggy? But the series has been fun, and obviously I have an attachment since the first song was what got me to discover Stoops in the first place. But yeah, it makes sense that Stoops would want to move on and do literally anything else as a Christmas special, even if it would be infinitely easier and more profitable to just make songs naming all the mascot horror characters that are popular. Thank God they abandoned ship before Garden of Banban came out. So now that we're back to form, I want to bring up their song for Hitman 2, aptly named The Second. It's really interesting how Stoops was able to make a song about how fleeting life is and how knowing that fact should inspire you to live your life to the fullest, from a game about killing people in the stupidest ways you can think of. In fact, a lot of the Stupendium songs starting in 2019 have extrinsic messages attached to them. It's something I really appreciate, cause it gives a lot of Stoops' songs an appeal outside of being about popular game number 152, and it helps me appreciate songs about games I've never played. Like take their Kingdom Hearts song for example. I don't know a damn thing about Kingdom Hearts other than it being the only game where Sephiroth is genuinely picking a fight with Mickey Mouse, but I think this is like a top 10 Stupendium song. I guess this isn't the best example though, cause the song's theming is more about Disney in general. I mean, there are references to 60 different Disney songs in the lyrics, but then again, I don't remember the plot of Ratatouille, so it's not like I'm a big Disney nut either. Either way, I just really like the innocent optimism that the song exudes. As I've been going through Stoops' discography for this video, I realized just how hard I've been sleeping on the song Little Rover. This song was made as a tribute to NASA's Opportunity rover, who had spent 15 years stranded on Mars, as 2019 was when its mission was officially declared complete. So really stretching the definition of nerdcore, but hey, I'm not complaining. This is a really beautiful song that turns the rover's journey on Mars into a story of persistence and friendship, where it befriends the embodiment of the planet Mars, the Roman god of war that it gets its name from. I may be getting a little too mushy, but damn. As someone whose favorite Star Wars character as a kid was R2-D2, I just really love personifying little robots. So the song resonates with me a whole lot, and makes me really feel for this, well, little rover. And then they went back to Bendy like a crack addict to Flintstone vitamins. Art of Darkness is a song for Bendy's 3rd, 4th, and 5th chapters, and as a follow-up to the career-launching Find the Keys, yeah, it's just better in every conceivable aspect. Actually, this one doesn't have Donald Duck hung from the gallows, so that's 1 point off for Art of Darkness. You could've tried a little harder, you fraudster! Art of Darkness is a lot more grounded in the Bendy lore than Find the Keys was. I assume just because now Stoops actually had stuff to work with. Find the Keys was littered with references to games like FNAF and Bioshock and Winnie the Pooh's Home Run Derby, but this song is clean of all that. Except there's a portrait of Stoops standing in the Slender Forest. I guess some habits really do die hard. Also, this is such a tiny thing, but I find it so funny that there's one lyric in this video that's censored, and it's the word crap. It's weird how the song feels like it has half a verse left, but then it just ends. I guess that's accurate to the source material though. One day I am going to talk about the Bendy the Ink Machine ending, and it's not going to be pleasant. The next song is A Matter of Factories, based on the game Satisfactory, where Stoops plays an evil businessman. You know what they say about the rule of threes? You should see a professional. I cannot stress this enough that they are really good at playing this archetype, like scarily good. The day Stoops joins the privileged 1% is the day we're all living in the mines. Their most popular song is another one from the 2019 era, The Fine Print, which is based off the game The Outer Wilds, and is, you guessed it, another evil businessman song. I make it sound like this bit has gotten stale, which it absolutely hasn't. These songs are always some of the best written in Stoops' catalog, with some lines that are actually just diabolically cruel. It's kind of strange that this song in particular is their most popular. You'd think it would be a FNAF one or something, but I guess Stoops' audience weren't all drooling think noodles watching babies like I was. It definitely helps that this song was a meme on TikTok for a bit. and also that their next FNAF song has left me the most indecisive I've ever felt on a Stupendium song. I remember seeing a Twitter post calling this one of the worst FNAF fan songs they've ever heard, and while I can't agree, I also can't rebuke. The song is split into a bunch of different segments, I guess, and it's supposed to invoke FNAF Help Wanted's varied set of minigames, but most of them just sound kinda awkward and makes for a very incohesive song. You won't catch me dead or alive listening to Back Together. I drew the line at this and not Friday Night Funkin'. The last song I want to mention from this year is the song they made for the Untitled Goose Game of all things. I think this counts as an Evil Businessman song. I mean, have you seen this fit? It's probably worth more than my liver. The song's extremely silly. It's just Stoops going around bullying Rustage while wearing a spiffy goose costume. Man, I wonder if they're ever going to make another song about a goofy indie game where you play as a mischief-making animal. And then the Stupendium released the greatest song ever made. We're going into 2020, the year we were hit with a foul pandemic, and also had to stay inside due to some virus I don't remember. It's also the year we were hit with Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, which I say without a hint of irony, it's probably my favorite Stupendium song. It's actually really good for no reason. Stoops has some extremely funny wordplay in this one, and it really is just how do you come up with this? Is there a miracle drug I can take? Is the Garfield funny juice real? I think it's really funny how relatively low the production value for this one is. This was made before the whole, entire world shutdown, so just like, yeah, Stoops didn't want to do all this for the GOAT song, they just did this instead. Just look at this costume comparison. Maybe I'm just a little bit biased because I really liked Goat Simulator as a kid, and I really appreciate the references to the RPG and space sequels that are made for some reason. Nothing about the zombie one though. Why didn't we get Goatsy representation? Wait, they called it Goatsy? Also, I'm obligated to mention that this song's beat was previously used by Dan Bull for a rap about a porn game.
I got an inquiry from some company, Nerdcore.
Speaking of Dan Bull, this year he and Stoops partnered up with the epic rap battles of history to produce the second greatest thing ever conceived, Minecraft vs. Lego Rap Battle. When I tell you this release absolutely blindsided me when I first saw it, I guess something like this was inevitable though. The two of them had already done a rap battle together, though the first one is way less funny and not really a rap battle, more so just a song representing two opposing sides. In this one though, they're throwing strays at each other and also a random architect that lives near Dan. It's a good thing they made this song no later than they did, because Stoops, who's obviously playing the Lego Man because of course they would, has just enough ammunition to make this a fair fight. Now imagine if Dream existed when this song was made. Yeah, we dodged a bullet. Both Stoops and Dan uploaded the music video to their channels, and both have different endings. In the Stupendium version, they're confronted with a Lego Steve who tells them to be friends and love each other. In the Dan Bull version, this Lego skeleton goes, "Are you fucking kidding me with this blah blah blah?" The most surprising thing to come out of the Stoops this year was not one, not two, but 3 whole Animal Crossing New Horizons songs. Thanks, greedy businessman. It's funny because the Tom Nook song is just blatant mischaracterization, purely done so Stoops can play another evil businessman. The Blather song is a wholesome display of his character, and the Red song probably happened. The first 2 songs are done entirely in animation due to Stoops being locked down during the pandemic. But for the Red song, they get this whole imitation outfit, and once again, let's compare this to Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. And since we're talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons, we can also talk about the game that came out the same day as it. Doom Eternal. Stoops made a song for this game too, and they made it a love song where Doom Guy is really attracted to mutilating monsters. If I want to show footage of this video, I have to pick and choose specific scenes because there's a lot of b-roll footage of just very gory kills from the game. This song made me realize just how many romantic phrases also have double meanings as threats of violence. If I walk up to someone on the street and tell them I'm gonna take them out, I'm gonna get shot in the head by the nearest cop. I keep on forgetting there were 3 pandemics in 2020. Among Us. There's something weirdly insidious to me about making an Among Us song. I look at the Baldi's Basic song and think, yeah, I can understand this. I look at the Fall Guys song and think, well, even if I couldn't understand it, I can't say it doesn't fit. But I look at the Among Us song, my right eye twitches involuntarily. I mean, Deranged Ramblings aside, it's a fun song. Stoops really knows how to make songs hopping on trends a worthwhile experience. And that's the last song from 2020 I wanted to go over. And from now on, I really don't need to lump the songs together by year anymore, because this is when Stoops really entered their modern era in my opinion. The production value for videos had only been increasing throughout 2020, and now practically every song they make is super professional and well done. But it's also like, I don't know, the songs are too good now, I don't have any material to poke fun at. Well, I do, but it's mean. I'm not saying Stoops is getting boring or anything, not at all. They've been putting out some of their best work for the past 4 years. It's just when I look at the song they made to advertise their friend's drink-themed dating simulator, I just have to say it's really funny and then move on. I guess it's just easier to talk about their old stuff individually since it felt like Stoops was still gathering their footing and experimenting with what their strengths were. So now that they've found them, it's like, yep, I know exactly what I'm getting into. What I'm trying to say is that there's going to be practically no structure for this next segment. I'm just blabbering about the stuff I like. Like their Spamtingy Spampin song, cause this one is insane. Listening to it for the first time is nigh incomprehensible. But then you just keep on listening and listening, and it unravels itself like ancient Egyptian scripture. Dude, the people I would kill for Stoops' vocal prowess. Probably their most impressive song in terms of production value is their song for the first chapter of Poppy Playtime. Unfortunately, the song came out at a time where everybody rightfully wanted the game's creators' heads on a stick, so that's a bit of a blemish on the song. And also it's Poppy Playtime, that's kinda hard to respect, but goddamn, look at all this. This is like genuinely insane. I think I could talk about this song in particular for hours, because everything about it is just so insanely impressive. Imagine going through all of this just for the game's developers to release NFTs with lore in them. Of course I gotta mention the fact that they made the official theme song for Game Theory, and later Style Theory I guess. I don't think I need to explain how insane this is. Even if Game Theory has passed its heyday, just the fact that Stoops has played a part in such an important channel is crazy. This is also the time Stoops started branching out and doing more outside collaborations. What? No, of course I'm not segueing away from the channel so I don't have to talk about the fact that they made a Balatro song. Who would do that? The most notable for me is their role as Guy Fawkes in Freshly Canal's rap battle, Guy Fawkes vs. Robin Hood, where they kinda get cooked for most of it, but then spends their last verse getting comically tortured under the orders of King Dan Bull, which is so unbelievably raw that I think they just won on the spot. They participate in this channel every so often. They play the Mad Hatter and the Fairy Tale Cipher, and that's the extent of my knowledge. Oopsie daisies. This segment kinda sucks. You should really cut it out of the video. But I really want to talk about Guy Fawkes. I think the most fitting thing of Stoops is to end off on is their Unlikely Cipher series. Rap ciphers are like crack in the nerdcore space. There's always one happening somewhere. Even Nux Taku weaseled his way into one.
Where the ladies at? Where the ladies
Disney
at?
just woke a little too close to the sun.
So Stoops decided to make their own. But since they're the Stupendium, they had to put a twist on it. And they decided to make ciphers on things nobody asked for. Imagine 7 minutes of the Muppets rapping to you about how much money they make. That's what this video is, and it's beautiful. I'm learning new stuff too. What do you mean there's a Muppets character whose entire act is throwing a boomerang fish? The only other episode so far is one for cereal mascots, just in case you thought it couldn't get any dumber than the Muppets. It immediately opens up with Sugar Bear telling me he fucked my girlfriend and pissed all over her. I suddenly don't like Unlikely Ciphers. All jokes aside, this series really shows just how far Stoops has come over the years. And in such a short time too. In just 5 to 6 years of their first big break, they've gotten so many connections to big names in their genre. And hell, they're a pretty big name of their own. I obviously haven't been there since the beginning, but it really feels like I've been watching the Stupendium grow from a fairly small, humble channel to a still humble but vastly more influential artist. And it's nice to see that still, no matter what Stoops does, they put all of their passion into it. You seldom see that, especially with channels that depend so much on following trends to stay mainstream. So I'm happy I got the chance to revisit the artist that's been a huge inspiration to me for the past few years. And I'm glad they haven't done anything that would make me regret following them. Can't say that for a lot of the people I cover.